The Motorola One Power. This is the first product to come out of Motorola's new partnership with Google. Now, Moto phones have come with near stock Android in the past, but this one is officially a part of the Android One program, which means fast and timely updates. With popular smartphones like the Nokia 6.1 Plus, Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 and the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 Pro available in the market at roughly the same price, the One Power has some serious competition. But can it stand out in this crowded space? Well, we are about to find out. The One Power is the first smartphone from Motorola to sport a notch in India. It has a big 6.2-inch display with a Motorola branding on the bottom bezel. The phone is slightly bulky and makes its presence felt in the hand. You will feel fatigue when you hold it for longer durations. The device has a metal backplate, but the sides are made out of plastic. Motorola has the fingerprint scanner at the back with its Batwing logo, and the positioning is spot on. Hold the phone in the hand and either of your index fingers will rest on it naturally. At the bottom, it has two grills, out of which only the right one houses the speaker, which is positioned in a way that you can accidentally mute it when holding the phone in landscape. The One Power has some good specifications, and it seems that Motorola has taken a good look at the competition while making the smartphone. Powering the smartphone is an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 636 processor, and the One Power only has one variant with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. There is a microSD card slot which lets you expand storage up to 256GB. The 6.2-inch IPS display sports Full HD Plus resolution and a 19:9 aspect ratio. It has good viewing angles and the display is legible when outdoors. It comes with dual SIM support but misses out on dual 4G, which lets both SIMs latch onto a 4G network. Instead, only one SIM can latch to 4G while the other is restricted to 3G networks only. Since the One Power is a part of Google's Android One program, the phone gets pure stock Android with minimum apps on board. It runs Android 8.1 Oreo and also promises security updates for 3 years and Android updates for 2 years. At launch, Motorola confirmed that it is working on pushing out Android Pie for the smartphone and is working to roll out a beta soon. Motorola has added Moto Actions on top, which are gestures that let you interact with the phone. Moto Display is also added on top, which lights up for incoming notifications and when the phone is picked up. Dolby Audio lets you tweak the sound output, and we noticed a difference in audio when it's enabled. We also liked the Smart SIMs feature to separate the two SIMs as work and personal and assign two different accounts to it. We didn't notice any lag or stutter while using the smartphone, and it can multitask without having to kill apps in the background. One issue we did notice was that the smartphone was slow to unlock when using the fingerprint scanner. It does not have a face unlock feature that is slowly becoming common on new smartphones these days. PUBG recommended lowest settings for playing the game. It runs without any issues and the device did not get hot to the touch when we played it for 30 minutes in an air-conditioned room. In our HD video loop test, the phone went on for 16 hours and 8 minutes, making the most of its massive 5000 mAh battery. If you like to binge watch movies or TV series, you will be able to do so on the smartphone. The Motorola One Power offers good battery life, and when the battery does run out, the supplied 15-watt turbocharger is capable of charging the smartphone up quickly. It managed 31% in 30 minutes and took close to 2.5 hours to charge completely. The dual camera setup at the back consists of a 16-megapixel primary sensor with face detection autofocus and a 5-megapixel secondary depth sensor. At the front, it has a 12-megapixel selfie shooter with an f2.0 aperture and a 1.25 micron pixel size. The camera app is by Motorola and has photo, video, portrait and expert mode to choose from. The expert mode lets you control white balance, exposure, ISO, shutter and focus before clicking. There are quick toggles for HDR, flash, timer and different aspect ratios. Google Lens is also baked into the camera app and lets you search and identify objects you're pointing at. When clicking in daylight, the One Power is fairly quick to meter the scene and set the camera up for the shot. We got some good daylight shots of the One Power with decent amount of detail. When clicking macros, it struggled to focus where we wanted it to and needed multiple taps. But when it did focus, it delivered a sharp image with good separation between the subject and the background and sharp edges as well. The camera performance dropped in low light. Photos lack sharpness and detail when clicking at night. The night mode is available on the smartphone, but it does not switch on automatically and you have to go into the settings to do it manually every single time. Photos with night mode enabled were sharper and had much better details. The portrait mode puts the secondary depth sensor to use and gives you control over the amount of blur you want. Portrait shots we took had decent edge detection and did not look artificial. The selfie camera clicked good selfies and the selfie flash is useful when clicking in low light conditions. There is a beautification toggle which smoothens the overall output, and auto HDR is also available for the selfie camera. Motorola has also added depth effect, giving you the option to set the level of blur while clicking a selfie. It delivered a good image, but we found the edge detection to be average. Video recording maxes out at 4K for the primary camera and 1080p for the selfie camera. It lacks video stabilization, which resulted in a shaky output. The Motorola One Power made it to the market just in time and thankfully at a sensible price. It has a good build, runs pure stock Android, and its biggest advantage is the big 5000 mAh battery. Since it is a part of the new Android One program, it will get guaranteed security and software updates. But it misses out on dual 4G, which is a big omission considering the price. Overall, the One Power is a well-rounded phone and is a good choice for people who prefer stock Android and want the best battery life in this segment. However, the One Power does not get an unopposed run. The Nokia 6.1 Plus and the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 are its closest competitors and have similar hardware. The Nokia 6.1 Plus has better build quality and is also a part of the Android One program. The Asus Zenfone Max Pro, on the other hand, has more RAM and is the cheapest among the other three. For power users, you have the option to go in for the Xiaomi Mi A2 that offers powerful hardware and better cameras. So that was our review of the Motorola One Power. What do you guys think about this device? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to Gadgets360.com.